All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smart motherfucking wrestling podcast. Sorry to curse, but I'm excited. We got wrestling to talk about. We got a whole week of wrestling to talk about. And for that, I got my best friend here, Vlad, the wrestling expert. What's going on, Vlad?
It's good to be here on this Sunday evening, or Sunday night, I should say, at this point, to talk about some wrestling. I can't wait.
Yeah, for those of you who are just joining us, brand new, well, first of all, don't forget to subscribe. We're on the march to 500 subscribers, so we're already almost at 400, so I'm proud of that. But yeah, make sure you got the subscription. And sorry, hold on, I'm trying to put this graphic up, but it's not looking good. Anyways, so yes, subscribe. And what we do here recently, we've been going through a week of wrestling every Sunday. So we get to Sunday, and then we'll start at Raw and move our way forward and try to cover everything and give our opinions of what we liked and what we didn't like for every show that, or not everything. It's too much to cover. All the angles for every wrestling show in American television, it's a lot. So we pick out our favorite ones. The rest of them we review, but on our YouTube posts. So you can go there if you want to read our blog. We just give you thumbs up, thumbs down for like every single angle, period. And so we update that as often as we can, as soon as we can after we watch the shows. But all right, so here for episode number 130 of the Malapert Smart podcast, conspicuous by his absence, obviously, Robert, the Frozen
Asian. Sorry.
Yeah, he couldn't make it today, unfortunately. But man, what do you think? You think he's getting burned out on wrestling? We've been watching a lot of wrestling lately, man.
Dude, I was burned down on wrestling, to be honest. I didn't see most of WrestleDream. I did see the main event because I thought it was, since this was going to be your first topic of the day, I looked it up and I was like, you know what? There's time. I'll watch the main event. And I saw MJF come back and Adam Cole come back. So, but yes, to answer the question, it's a lot of wrestling, bro. There's too much. There's not enough time in the day to watch other stuff and everything else that goes on in life,
Well, look, if you're pressed for time, luckily on our show we're not really reviewing matches like other websites do, where they like really watch the match and try to give it like a 5-star rating on whether it was like a good match. We're here mostly covering the angles, okay? I mean, right. I'm a fan of wrestling matches, but I'm more a fan of wrestling angles, storylines, and such, if you want to call it that. I know a lot of old wrestling heads would cringe at that word storyline, but
angles.
Yeah, there are storylines at this point. I mean, we've broken kayfabe many years ago. So, all right. Well, look, if you're wanting to get to the wrestling talk, and we're just bloviating here for the beginning of the show, but we're gonna put bookmarks in there so you could skip straight to the wrestling talk. But I'm just chit chatting with my friend Vlad here. Good to see you, man. I know I saw you the other day for the Dodger game. Another big win for the Dodgers today, huh? This is the year, finally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't jinx it, but it's nice to be up in the National League Championship Series. We'll see what the rest of the series brings. I'm one of those pessimistic fans.
I know you're pessimistic, but you got to admit, what happened in that Padres series doesn't happen with the Dodgers ever. That's a bit of
true. When they're down in the series, they usually lose. That's true. So that was pretty miraculous that they rallied back like that, for sure.
All right, well, listen, this week we had a pay-per-view or a PLE, whatever you want to call them. It was on the AEW side, so that gives us a little extra homework, when that happens, because we already have Raw and Smackdown and NXT and Dynamite to watch, and then when there's a pay-per-view on a Saturday, it's an extra thing. So it's all right if you didn't watch every single match in detail. We really just want to cover the booking and, what you think of, how they really piece together these storylines and what we got going forward. So look, all right, let's get started. That's enough of an intro. I'm happy you're here, Vlad. I'm happy to see you and talk wrestling. Yeah. So let's get on with it. This is my best time of my week. Every week on Sunday night when we do all the wrestling and cover the wrestling talk. All right. So the first topic we're gonna do is Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Okay. So Bryan Danielson's quote-unquote full-time wrestling career has come to an end. All right, he's lost the world championship to Moxley, and you predicted this. You beat me on this one, okay? Didn't think so. I was like, man, Moxley, come on, they got to keep this going. They got to at least get through the end of the year with Danielson. This is hot. This is going good. He's a big star. He's the champion. But okay, so I'm not gonna go through the angle summary in detail or the match summary. I used to do that, but nowadays I just post a link to the historical footage, I call it, in a legal, low-quality version. If anybody really hasn't seen it or wants to see it, you can go down to the description in this video, and there will be a link to this match in full if you want it. Not great quality, but it's okay. You know, it's the best quality I can put up without it getting taken down. And if you're in some poor country where you don't have a lot of data on your phone service, this is perfect because these files are just like 40 megabytes, okay? And you could totally see the story, and it's good enough. But for our purposes, I'll just go through a few pictures, okay? I'm not going to go in detail, but I just want to cover some things, and then I'll give some time for you to give your review on this. So, Moxley, here he comes with Marina Shafir. So she was his valet today. Only Marina came out to start the match. Here's Bryan Danielson. And in the beginning, they fought over the music, over the final countdown kept playing, and they did that thing where they kept fighting. I'm not such a big fan of that. You know, I think it's a joke that ran its course. But anyways, nonetheless, let's see what else we got. We got some interference by Marina. So she did this a few times, but I'll show you later when she finally got thrown out by the referee. Biting, a lot of biting each other. They both bit each other, so pretty gruesome, violent match, you know. And here's where the referee threw out Marina because she tried to interfere again. I'm skipping way forward into this match. It was a long match. Yeah, it was a long... But I'll tell you the reason why I really don't want to go through the match in detail is because of the ending. I really didn't like the ending. But here's Marina's face as she got thrown out. We're watching pictures here. If you're on the audio podcast platform, go over to YouTube if you want to watch along with our slides. But this is the end when... this is the beginning of the end when Moxley has Danielson pretty much dead to rights, and Danielson spits in Moxley's face. And I think he gives him a pile driver, and then he chokes him out, and that's the end. Like that's basically the ending of these wrestling matches in these shows these days. When there's a guy who just will kick out of everything, what you have to do is just choke him out and make him unconscious. As we will discuss later on with Gunther and Sami Zayn. But I'm not a fan of this finish. And the crowd just completely was like deflated out. They're like, what? You gotta be kidding me. That's the end. And that's the end. So Jon Moxley is the man who has retired Bryan Danielson. And they got the championship belt. Claudio puts it in a duffel bag. And then they got the plastic bag out. So like last month, the pay-per-view from last month, they were going to suffocate him again, right? And Wheeler and Darby Allin came out to stop it because this is awful, right? Wheeler Yuta, who has been in the storyline critical of his former stablemates for turning the way they turned on Danielson, right? And Darby, I guess, who is also from Washington. So that was like a hometown thing that he came out to help Danielson. And then this is the part where Wheeler was behind Darby, and the crowd kind of sensed it. They kind of knew it because I heard one guy in the crowd going, Wheeler, no, don't do it. But yeah, it was set up perfectly for him to give the running knee kick to Darby Allin, and there you go. Wheeler Yuta has turned heel after all the... I mean, you guessed it too, but it just didn't make sense. I mean... Yeah, he's still torn. Here's a picture of him with his hands in his face, or his face in his hands, excuse me. And he looks like he regrets it. But here's Moxley again with the plastic bag, and I think he gives it to Yuta, and they're going to do it again. But this time Yuta's going to be the one to put the plastic bag on Danielson. So yeah, it's good to see that all the teachings that the Blackpool Complex... It's good to see that all the teachings that the BCC gave to Wheeler didn't go to waste. Okay, so he finally came to his senses and got on board with this. So the BCC is still together, basically, under, I don't know, a different name. They're not called the BCC, but here's a picture of Danielson. This is his retirement match. He's supposed to be waving in the fans and saying goodbye. Instead, he's getting suffocated with the plastic bag as Darby Allin is being tied. I forgot to mention that they tied Darby Allin up to the ropes. And they were going to, like, break his neck again or they got the steel chair on his neck, and they were going to do something, but that was like too much. So people started rolling out, from the locker room to stop this. A bunch of people: Jeff Jarrett, Daniel Garcia, Hook, Private Party, Mark Briscoe. Yeah, a lot of people. I don't know. I might have not got everybody, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, eventually everybody came out. I know that.
Yeah,
well, not everybody, but mostly everybody. All the faces, I guess.
So here we go. This is the last image we see of Bryan Danielson, laying face first and getting taken to the hospital on a gurney, and the whole locker room, all the baby faces are out there and just feeling terrible about this. Darby Allin is there looking depressed, and I think we finished the show with a sad picture of Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. So there you go. I haven't gotten a review from this yet because it was too recent, although I'm waiting for your review submission. But for the moment, I guess you could give your Malapert's Mark rating. Here's our rating system for those of you who know our show or who don't know our show. This is how we rate things, just whether we liked it or not. So what do you think, Vlad? You got a rating for this angle here today with Bryan Danielson's losing the title to Moxley and everything that happened afterwards?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it, as far as the rating goes, an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Like it wasn't like the worst thing ever. It definitely wasn't the best thing ever. There was a lot of issues with it. I mean, obviously, with the whole how they started the match, with them just fighting for the first 10 minutes on the outside, which has been beat to death and stupid. And then, as you said, well, before I get to the ending and the problems that you had with the ending, I think there should be some credit to Bryan Danielson for putting some sort of, to me, somewhat an entertaining match out of Moxley, who I do think is one of the worst wrestlers, like terrible wrestler. Like never seen a Moxley match that I like. The fact that he got something out of this guy shows the quality of his work, his ability. But anyways, as far as like the ending, like they just choked him out, basically beat him clean. I don't know. I mean, couldn't they have like cheated to win at the very least? Like more cheating that made sense. It couldn't Claudio or
Marina cheated, I guess, but
yeah, that was some. But I mean, they could have been more obvious about it. And if they're like this real heel group, they don't have any issues cheating to win the title and then still doing what they were doing. But he just basically beat him clean, choked him out. I mean, I don't know. That's an AEW. You could say it's a modern finish, but I mean, at least when WWE does it, it makes a little bit more sense to me. Here, it's his retirement match, and or his whatever, as he's going to be not a full-time wrestler anymore, I guess, and what have you. So the ending was pretty crap. But as far as the stuff post-match, I mean, I kind of liked it, and that's why I'm kind of giving it a half thumbs up. Like, I liked some of the stuff, like, they chained up Darby. Okay, Willow Yuta being involved, I don't like, because, okay, and I obviously don't like choking him with, okay, well, first, Willow Yuta's all crying and upset, right? He's upset at what he did, but he still doesn't have an issue trying to strangle him to death. That's no problem. He's mad that he did that. Like he's torn, as you said.
Yeah.
But he's still willing to kill him if he needs to.
Oh,
I mean, are you kidding me? That's stupid,
it's tough for me to give this a rating, but
I'll give it a half just because the match was okay and they had there was some decent stuff in between. But yes, obviously the majority of it is AEW and it's obviously.
So you didn't really like it. You kind of, I guess at most you kind of liked it. Okay.
I kind of liked it at best.
I think I didn't like it, man, and I think I'm gonna give it a thumbs down because I'm really
I can see that.
upset with the booking like of Danielson losing. So here's what I heard. I heard that he's really like on his last legs based on like he can't work anymore. Okay, he's having trouble working, so he can't do these matches. And if he's gonna be the champion, he has to like. First of all, I don't know why he's doing all these Dynamite stupid tag team matches when he's the fucking world champion if he's really that fucking hurt. Another thing that really bothers me, does he really have to have like a fucking banger match every goddamn match he has? Like this is the end of his career. They're trying to string him out to make money and have like good programs for the end of his career, and can he just do like a regular match? Like this match was pretty vicious. I skipped through a lot of it, but there's a lot of fucking
they were fighting on the outside. They were choking, biting. Oh, the power driver on the table,
Yeah,
which actually looked like it might have actually fucked up his neck, but I don't know if it did. Probably not. Let's hope not, because he's already got a fucked up neck and whatnot. I don't know, bro. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Does he have to do? Why does he have to do this? And why did they book it this way? Well, why did they book him as the champion when they did, knowing that he's going to be? He only has like a handful of matches left. I mean, why did they do any of this? It's all great questions, but only one man can answer it, and we know who that one man is. He's well, we don't know what he's doing, but we can guess.
I didn't mind them giving him the title. I thought that was fine, but I think they could have squeezed a little more juice out of this. And I don't like Moxley being the guy to do it. And I don't know. Everyone's saying he's got Shane McMahon coming. Like, Shane O'Mac is not great, honestly. Like, if you remember, people will.
It would be a big story for AEW.
It's a big story because he's a McMahon. But look,
correct.
Bottom line is, if you go back and watch the tapes of Stephanie and Shane and Vince, people would only fucking put up with Shane and Stephanie because Vince was so freaking entertaining. Nobody gave a damn about Shane. And you're going to see that when he comes here. He can't cut a promo, and he can't work in the ring. If he's going to throw himself off the top of a building, okay. But if that's what
at his age,
if that's what the payoff is, that Moxley's getting the title for the stable because Shane O'Mac's coming in, I don't know. I'm not really digging it, but okay, we got to move on, man. Unless you have anything else you really need to say.
No, I mean, I'm with you all the way. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's AW. That's my thing. Like, I don't know what else you could expect. But let's move on.
All right, well, I have to start with that because it was a big topic of the week, probably the biggest story of the week. But let's jump back to WWE before we go talk about WrestleDream some more. So I'm going to jump to Smackdown because some cool things happened there too. So we're jumping to October 11th on Friday. Let me pull this up. So it's going to be Lash Legend and Cara Jackson.
This is what we're talking. This is one of the topics for real.
Well, you didn't. No, it's not. It's Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes.
That's right. Yeah, you scared me for a sec. I forgot.
We got to cover NXT now because I watched NXT. No, but I did see the part in NXT where these two challenged Jade and Bianca. So, but this was just a ring walk entrance and KO interrupted. So I thought it was kind of funny.
For a second. Yeah.
No, I mean, didn't you see this? That they were coming to the ring.
So I actually lost my mind, not the other way around.
Yeah, so they were coming in, and KO thought, like, okay, fuck, these guys aren't that important. I'm going to come out and talk. So he was going to come out and explain himself for beating up Cody at the Bad Blood post-show, right? Or not even the post-show, just in the parking lot. Off screen or whatever.
With the video or the fan video.
Yeah, it was recorded by fans and posted on social media. But, okay, so here's the part where we were going to finally get the KO explanation. But for some reason, management turned off the microphones, and they silenced him. What do you think of that, Vlad? Why wouldn't you want his explanation, right? Is he suspended or something? Anyways.
Yeah,
maybe he is suspended. I don't know, but okay.
Oh, maybe, but they didn't say that, so I don't know.
They silenced him, and then he went over to commentary table and took Corey Graves' headphones off his headset and tried to talk into the headset. And Cody comes out, and they're like, hooting and hollering at each other, and the security and staff are trying to keep them apart. And Randy Orton comes out. Okay, so Randy Orton, the peacemaker, the good guy of good guys. He's holding Cody back. He's like, let me go calm him down. And he's trying to hold Kevin Owens here, and Kevin Owens is so heated that he throws an elbow at Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton obviously has to, retaliate, and he socks Kevin Owens. So here's Kevin Owens, like, how could you do that to me, face? He's
like, what? You hit me?
Yeah. So, anyways, moving along. I'm gonna move on to the backstage segment that they had, where Cody is by his bus and Randy's like telling him to calm down. He's like, you know what? Just go home. Let me take care of this for now, and you just take your belt and go on home. All right. Let me go calm Kevin Owens. I can fix this. I don't know why it needs to be fixed, but anyways, moving on. So here's backstage where Street Profits and DIY are arguing like crazy, which was ridiculous to me. But anyways, somehow Nick Aldis, with his super hearing, hears something is going on like a ways away, and he walks over.
He's got the GM ears. That's why. He's like, oh, trouble's brewing.
Yeah, and he walks over there, and he finds Kevin Owens kicking Randy Orton's ass in the back, and he's trying to get him off, and he sends him away. So that's the angle for the day. So Orton tries to convince Cody to leave while he straightens everything out, only to be beaten by KO himself, I'm sorry, in the parking lot. So on your ratings, you gave this a thumbs up. I did as well, but you know what? Upon further reflection, man, I think I'm going to change my rating to give this 2 thumbs up. Because I'm liking the logic here of Kevin Owens just still holding a grudge for everything Roman did as a heel. I like that because in the past in wrestling, I've seen people turn face and then everyone forgets every fucking horrible thing they've ever done. You know? I want to pinpoint one in my memory that I don't want to, the year I'm not exactly sure, but I remember like somewhere around 2012, for some reason, Randy Orton and Triple H were baby faces again. Okay. And then they ended up like teaming together in a main event match against some heels or something. And I was like, didn't these two fight at WrestleMania like a couple years earlier? And Randy Orton like fucking handcuffed Triple H to the ring post and kissed his wife. And I'm like, well, now they're all baby faces. So swept under the rug. No, I like this. I like that KO didn't let this go. And this is a very strong, solid, logical storyline to me. So I'm giving this 2 thumbs up. I'm going to go back and change my rating on my Smackdown post. So you gave this a thumbs up. So any thoughts you want to give about this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I like it. I think there's logic here. And even though I'm not the biggest Kevin Owens fan, as far as just him being a whiny little bastard, well, I guess a big bastard in this sense. But here, I you know, when it's not so much that he's whining, he's actually doing something about it. He kicked Cody Rhodes' ass. He kicked Randy Orton's ass. I like it. I like this.
Oh, yeah.
This I like.
Yeah, and he said, what did he say to Randy Orton? He said, you want to pick sides like that or something?
Oh,
Something about picking sides, right?
Correct. Yes, that's what he said, picking sides. Well, I'm with him. I mean, you know, I could understand some of his frustration in a sense. I mean, I don't completely agree, but I do kind of get why he's pissed, but in one way. But anyways, I think this is all good, and I think this another angle in SmackDown that features the Bloodline.
The Bloodline, yes, we'll get to that one next.
I know we're really pretty logical and well done for the most part. So I would say, I mean, good stuff. But I don't know. I don't have much more to add to it though, but good stuff.
All right, well, I can move on then, so we could save some time. So like you said, let's move on to the Bloodline stuff. So the opening of the show was the recap from Bad Blood, where Jimmy and Roman Reigns reunited, right? The emotional reunion. So Jimmy came out first to open the show. Same show, we're on October 11th, so this was earlier in the night. And Jimmy came out to cut a promo about how he wants to get revenge on Solo, because they're the ones who put him out many months ago. And Roman came out and he joined Jimmy and he put him over, right? Very, very nice to each other. And I think Jimmy basically said, you know what? Against this Solo Bloodline, we kind of need help, right? He brought it up, and the whole crowd knew. The crowd was like, yeet, 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 right? So I like that. I like how like everyone knew where they were going without even saying anything.
Oh yeah.
But Roman's face was like, no, man. He knows who he was talking about, and him and Jey Uso have had a very horrible rivalry, right? A horrible feud that was very personal, but he doesn't really want help from Jey. He said not him, right? Anyone but him or something. But Jimmy's like, no, man, we got to do it. So they had this dramatic looking at each other moment, right? And
well, yeah, that's true.
I'm going to skip to the main event, though. So on this same night, all the way at the end of the show, it's supposed to be Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa, which is a pretty strong booking for a SmackDown main event.
Yeah.
Grudge match, and here comes Jimmy Uso. They did replay what happened last April, which I liked because that was so long ago. Like, come on, you gotta pull out that tape.
A lot of people would have forgotten them.
Yeah, so they showed a replay of Jimmy getting beat up by the new Bloodline, but to forward through the match, there was a Jacob Fatu distraction at the end, and I think that basically led to Solo hitting the Samoan spike and pinning Jimmy. So post-match afterbirth, the Bloodline come in to beat up Jimmy Uso, and here comes Roman. So what I was confused about was why didn't Roman come with Jimmy Uso to start with?
Absolutely didn't make that part didn't make sense. I was going to mention it.
Okay, so here comes Roman, and he's going to try to clear house by himself, and he kind of does, but when he finally gets down to Solo, Jacob Fatu kind of takes him out from behind, and they kind of beat up Roman and give him the Samoan spike and leave him laying, and Solo still has the Ulafala, so Solo Sikoa is still the tribal chief, and Jimmy and Roman are left to think about what they can do to turn the tide in this feud. Okay, so what did I have for you from this feud, or this angle, excuse me. So also a thumbs up from you on our Malapert Smart rating system. Let me pull that up for anybody who just might be joining us. Thumbs up from Vlad on this, and then thumbs up for me too. I like this. So this was all good to me. But let me get some comments from you on this Bloodline angle for SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, other than Roman not being there with Jimmy to start it all, kind of made sense to me. You know, Jimmy came out, start the show, said like, "Yeah, I'm back. I'm still with Roman, but we're not really the Bloodline." I mean, he acknowledges him, but they don't even have a Bloodline, just the two of them, and whatnot. So it all made sense, and obviously, the fact that they got beat down at the end of the show means that they got to now think about trying to reach out to, Kayon's favorite wrestler.
Yeet.
Jey Uso, not Jimmy Uso. But anyways, and probably reunite the old Bloodline.
The original Bloodline. Like the way we're the original lineup of the Malapert Smart podcast, me and you.
Exactly.
This is the original Bloodline. Well,
well, yeah, but so I mean, probably set something up for, I'm assuming, Survivor Series, which will be in November or near the end of November, where they'll have some sort of War Games match. I don't know if I have a feeling they'll also try to get Sami back involved into it too, because he ain't doing nothing. So you might as well. So maybe those four versus those four type of thing. I could see that.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right.
I mean, I could see something like that going down. So, I mean, and that will be a cool match. Basically be old Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. It should be fun. I mean, so far, I'm digging it. I'm digging this feud.
All right. Well, let me jump off of WWE then. We'll be back to WWE in a little while, but I'm going to go back to WrestleDream. AEW, all right? We gotta mix in our AEW on this night. But, all right, so next topic I got is MJF's return. Okay. So MJF, let me put a little bit of a premise or preface, excuse me.
Yeah, for background.
What was the situation and what led up to this? So basically, Daniel Garcia was out there in the middle of the ring because he came to Shibata's aid when Jack Perry beat him, and then he was going to beat him up after the match for no reason. And Shibata and Daniel Garcia have history, so that was a different angle that we reviewed on our posts, but on our YouTube posts you can check that out. But for this angle, I considered it a different angle right here, starting right here, because Daniel Garcia was just standing in the ring, and suddenly MJF's music hits. So I don't want to play too much of it because I don't want to get clipped for copyright. But okay, so MJF's music hits, and out comes MJF, who had just not done a job to Daniel Garcia. He beat him in the match, but he got his ass beat by him and humiliated by him post-match. And we didn't know if Daniel Garcia was going to come back. So some people were saying he could sign with WWE, and the last image we'll see is him beating the fuck out of MJF, which was really weird. But anyways, Daniel Garcia re-signed. He got a contract. So he's back. So I thought it was interesting that they sent MJF out immediately to kind of, get a little bit of a retort or revenge on that whole situation. I was like, okay, so now that they've got Daniel Garcia locked up, now they can humiliate him again or something. So I don't know. These were just some things that were running through my mind. And basically, Jack Perry came from behind to hit Daniel Garcia, and that gave MJF a chance to basically whoop his ass and get back at him for what had just happened. So, and then he also, so Daniel Garcia remember he stole MJF's Dynamite Diamond ring and pawned it off in a place in Buffalo. Apparently MJF said he went to every pawn shop in Buffalo until he finally fucking found it and he got his ring back. But another surprise in this same segment, so he was going to crack Daniel Garcia with the ring, but Adam Cole baby's music hits and the crowd erupts again. Look at this guy. Look how happy he is. I see Adam Cole coming out, and out comes Adam Cole.
Did you see the fan with the Ricky Martin shirt? What the hell was that? Not here in the video, but throughout the show, there was a fan with the Ricky Martin shirt. It was ridiculous.
I did not see that, but I don't mind Ricky Martin. What's wrong? I just
thought it was hilarious on a wrestling show. I don't know. I'm just sorry. I had to bring it up. Like he comes in with like this. I thought it was a wrestler first. I thought it said like he Starks maybe at first or something like that But then I saw it said Ricky. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious.
All right. Hold on, Vlad. I got to move on with this segment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
No Ricky Martin talk. That's another show. All right. So Adam Cole runs into the ring. I don't know. I guess he looks like he's recovered finally from that terrible ankle injury that he had that ruined the storyline he had going with MJF. But MJF had already beat Adam Cole's ass. So here he ran away though. So MJF powders out and. There you go. So he's intimidated. I guess maybe he thinks Adam Cole's back and healthy. So there you go. Adam Cole picks up Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole. I mean, I guess one thing is consistent. He was a heel, now he's a babyface, but he's always consistently against MJF. So at least that's consistent. So him and Daniel Garcia are on the same side here because they both don't like MJF. All right. Anyways, I don't have any reviews for you on this. So if you want to do it now, you can give your review of MJF's return and Adam Cole's return and everything.
Yeah, I'm indifferent about this. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I mean, no,
okay.
No, not really. No, I don't think it's going to be anything good. First of all, my issues with MJF working with Daniel Garcia. I think it's not good. I don't think
he'll be working with Daniel Garcia though. I think he's gonna have to be working with Cole because Garcia's gonna have a match with Jack Perry, it seems.
Okay, fine. He's gonna be working with Cole, who at least, I don't know, at least has some sort of name in the business at the very least and has proven himself, not in AEW at the very least, but at least when he was wrestling for a real company, he was proving himself. But anyways, nonetheless.
Basically, all we got from him in AEW is that ridiculous friendship / turn on MJF, and then he got injured. Which he got injured before the turn on MJF, right? He was
supposed to be the devil, right?
They were trying to have him come out with crutches and stuff and on a wheelchair, and it just looked ridiculous. So Undisputed Kingdom fell apart. Now they're baby faces, I guess, somehow, with no explanation. MJF's a heel, so they're going to be baby faces, but okay.
Sure. No, I don't think it's going to be any good. I mean, I just don't think it's going to be a good feud.
So you're not looking forward to Adam Cole versus MJF? Okay.
Not really.
After all they fucking worked for they had that match already, though. That was the main event of All in London, right?
That's right. So they had the match.
But they were friends. Now they're going to be enemies.
Sure, I get it. I mean, I don't know, bro. Can't say I'm too thrilled or excited with MJF's booking since he came back. I think it's his choice. To me, if he's smart, he runs. I mean, he gets as much money as he can get for this contract, and he goes to WWE when his contract is up. But I just don't see anything good happening to him here.
Come on, you can't start talking about that now, man. He just signed the goddamn contract.
Well, the booking. I'm just saying the booking since he signed has been bad, and it's okay. Well, I'll leave it at this. The booking since he signed has been bad, and the booking for the continuous future will be bad. Okay, so that's just the bottom line in AEW for him. I'm sorry, that's just the way it's going to be.
All right, well, I'll give my review of this segment. I'll give it a thumbs up. Okay, I liked the pop. from MJF's music. I like the interaction with him and Garcia. I think it was cool that he got something back because everyone's like, well, why the fuck did he get his ass kicked and humiliated so badly by Daniel Garcia, right? So at least they rectified that a little bit. And the Adam Cole pop, okay, I'm not a big a mark as some of these people in the crowd were for Adam Cole.
Cole?
It was still like, at least there was some excitement and some like surprise, you know, for
that he was there. Yeah, sure.
No,
I mean, neither guy.
AEW just don't really do surprises. It's hardly ever a surprise when AEW do something, right? There's a rumor or somebody's it leaks somewhere. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
Thumbs up on the surprise, at least. Okay, I was surprised. I didn't expect any of this. So, okay, I'm not gonna be so harsh on this segment. This was actually kind of entertaining to me. But all right. Let's move on. What do we got next? Next, we got Swerve Strickland. Okay. So, hold on. Let me pull that up.
I'll start by saying I did not see this, but I'm willing to see what the heck happened.
I'll just give you a review just so you know what happened. Okay. I'm not gonna really play it, but well, if you want, you can click on the links in the description below, Vlad, and there will be video.
Yes, in low quality. I got it. I remember.
Give me 1 second. All right, so what had happened was, here's Swerve Strickland coming out. First time since Hangman Page humiliated him inside a steel cage. But because Hangman Page was on the same show, so they don't have this thing like WWE where like Raw and Smackdown, or they could separate people. Like, that's the thing that's kind of a loose end for me. Like, if he was in the same building as Hangman and everything that Hangman did to him, because Hangman fought earlier in the night against Jay White, which we'll discuss later, which to me was awful, but I don't want to talk about that now. But okay, so here comes Swerve, and he's going to talk to Prince Nana for a second, but MVP and Shelton come out because they've been waiting for him, right? And they're waiting to talk to him because they want to get in on this and they want to manage him and get his career going in the right direction. And they bring up everything that, you know, all the failures that he's had recently under Nana. And Swerve basically kind of agrees with them, you know, kind of scares Nana, is telling him, you know, yeah, you're right. This happened to me. This happened to me. This happened to me under your watch. But you are like family. That was how he ended it with. And he said, I don't turn my back on family for nobody. So he said, hell no. I'm not taking your offer. And then Shelton Benjamin gets in Swerve's face, and he basically tells him, look, this wasn't an option. You're going to be involved with us whether you like it or not. So basically he's saying, if you're going to come with us, or if you're not going to come with us, then it's going to be an issue and we're going to fight. And then MVP holds Shelton back. It looked like they were going to get down, but MVP's like, no, not right now, not right now. We're going to handle this. And then officials come out and it's a pull apart, and that's it. Shelton and MVP go to the back, and MVP looks at his watch. He's like, you know, it's just a matter of time, Swerve, something like that. I don't know what that means exactly. And then Nana and Swerve give each other a hug. All right. Well, you don't have to give this a rating because you didn't actually watch the segment and you didn't listen to the talk or anything.
But I think
you can give comments if you want.
Sure.
I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll say, for me, since I watched it. I'll say that I like this segment. I think I like that I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and it was executed well. And I Shelton and Swerve, I guess, is not bad, but I guess I am expecting Lashley maybe to enter the fray here. That would be kind of cool. Lashley versus Swerve would be cool. But okay, so any comments you want to throw in there?
I'll just say that, you know, I am a fan of MVP, and I do think Shelton Benjamin still could probably wrestle circles around most of the roster, even in his current age and state. I haven't seen him wrestle in a while, but I'm pretty sure he can. So I like the addition of both of them, and I kind of see potential in this angle. So I would probably, if I was giving it grade, I'd probably give it a thumbs up. And this seemed like some entertaining, you know, where they were trying to hint that he would join them, but then he didn't, type of thing. Swerve pulled a Swerve them. So, okay, cool. You know, I give it a thumbs up as well.
All right, Vlad gives it a thumbs up just based on my description. But we will put a complete review of AEW WrestleDream out on our YouTube posts. That'll be coming early this week, either Monday or Tuesday. So look out for that. Subscribe if you haven't. Vlad, it's up to you if you want to watch it and give reviews or not. If you're not, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
What I've seen is what I'm going to end up seeing. That ain't going to be no more than that.
I know. It's all good. All right, so let me move on to our next issue. Another thing that you haven't seen, but I'm going to just describe the summary for you. So here's it's Takeshita and
Yes.
Ospreay and Ricochet. So they're in a three-way for the international title, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to skip to the end to show you basically what happened. So Ricochet got taken out of this match because Takeshita gave him, like, I don't even know what you call that, like a fucking pile driver, a reverse pile driver off the ring apron onto a table. It looked pretty wicked, but that's the end of Ricochet. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. And then Callis comes in because it's a triple threat, right? So there's no rules, no disqualification. Yeah. So Callis comes in. He's going to stab Ospreay with the screwdriver, right? And Ospreay sees him and he stops him, right? And he's gonna give Callis a tiger driver, and the crowd's going crazy. So, but it doesn't happen because a masked figure comes in, or a hooded figure, and is gonna hit Ospreay in the back of the head with the screwdriver, which actually looked pretty good. I'll show you what it looked like. I mean, he hit him on the head with the back of the screwdriver. He didn't stab him.
Hit him.
With the screwdriver.
I was about to say there's no way to stab him with it.
But it looked pretty good. And it was Kyle Fletcher. Okay, so finally Kyle Fletcher, after all these weeks of being torn, kind of like Wheeler Yuta, actually finally listens to Don Callis and gets violent with Ospreay's like, what? I can't believe this, right? And I think that's basically the end. Takeshita gives him a knee to the face, and Fletcher pulls in the ref, and pinfall for Takeshita. Oh, there's Fletcher pulling in the ref. I'm sorry. There's the pinfall for Takeshita. I don't know why that was out of order, but it's okay. And here's Takeshita holding up the International Championship. Callis is pleased, and Ospreay trying to get up, holding his old friend from the United Empire. United Empire is dead, by the way, Vlad, just so you know. This has got but then
I'm so sad.
I know. I feel you. But Kyle Fletcher, just to put the nail in the coffin of the United Empire, gives Ospreay his own move, the Tiger Driver, drops him on his neck.
It looks like he did it a lot safer than, from what I saw, at least, so the way Ospreay does it. But
yeah, well, there you go. All right, so, I think I'll give this a thumbs up, too. I don't know, I kind of like the afterbirth here. And the whole thing with Fletcher, I don't know what his reasoning is. I don't know what Wheeler Yuta's reasoning is on the other side, but
really Yuta's a goof.
I like the scene.
Wheeler Yuta.
All right.
This one I would like. Yeah, I like this one better too. Only because I like Fletcher a lot better than Wheeler Yuta. Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, I mean, I said I didn't see the show, I didn't see the match, I didn't see the afterbirth. I'm only seeing. I did read about it, so I did read this. But I didn't obviously see the video until you're showing me what you're showing me now, and I kind of like it, as well. I mean,
I thought it was well done. To be honest, I thought it was well done.
Sort of. I mean, as far as what AEW can do, this is probably considered well done. And I like both Takeshita and I like Fletcher. Well, I don't like Callis because I kind of think he's an idiot, and I know he's supposed to be like his family and stuff, but oh god. I know he has heat, but he really does have go-away heat, not like the bright type of heat. Not the type of heat you want. Like, he really has heat, like, God, this guy's on the fucking screen again. But other than that, his group, these two guys are pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't know if he has go-away heat, though. I think Don Callis
he has go-away heat with me, then he has go-away heat with me, then.
I think he has go-away heat with you just because this whole storyline has been so disjointed and it hasn't flowed well. Yeah, I think they had a chance with Don Callis to make him one of the not one of the greatest, but a great heel character. And their storyline with the Don Callis family just hasn't been consistent. That's
Well,
the issue to me. He's disappeared for weeks on end.
Sorry, let's finish.
Sorry. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna say real quick that Ospreay had left the group like months before, right? So why didn't they just like at that time he just said, "Oh, that's cool. All right, you left, no problem." But then they keep going back and forth with it because of his relationship with Fletcher, and then finally now they've left him laying and cost him the title and took his title away from him. All right, I mean they could have done this months ago, as far as I'm concerned. That would have been a lot more logical. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I am down on the Don Callis storyline, but not because of Don Callis. I think it's Tony Khan's fault that they didn't keep it going. That's my opinion. I like Don Callis as a character. I think he's fine. But anyways, let's move along. We got to pick up the pace a little bit so we can finish off this show. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm jumping back to WWE here. We're going back to the World Heavyweight title match on Raw. So what day was this? This was October 7th, all right? So Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes was there, which we're going to discuss a little bit further right after this. But he was there because he's scouting out this match between Sami and Gunther because they announced that there's going to be a champion versus champion match at Crown Jewel, and he's going to face the winner of this match, basically. So that's why he was there. Although he had that whole KO thing hanging over his head. This was before what we just talked about, which people were asking him questions about it on Raw, but he was like, no, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the World Heavyweight Champion, whoever it's going to be. So he's wishing Sami Zayn good luck. Here's Sami. Here's Gunther. But I'm going to forward to the end of the match. Just to summarize, like give a very broad summary. If anyone wants to watch this whole match, it's in the link to it is in the description below. But Sami was kicking out of everything. Here he kicked out at one of like something that was like, it seemed like it was the end of the match, basically. But Gunther just couldn't pin him. It was one of those situations where this guy's just going to dig down deep, I guess, and kick out of everything. There's no way he could fucking beat him. And he had these ridiculous, like, faces where he was so determined and everything. And so what do you do, Vlad, when someone can't get pinned?
Choke him out.
You choke him out. Yep, exactly. That's why they call you the wrestling expert. So yeah, that's what I do. If I was ever in the streets and some guy's just fucking, I can't put him down with like blows, you gotta choke him out. But this one I liked a little better than the Danielson one because there was this great moment where he was reaching for the ropes and he was like an inch away. And it looked close and he just couldn't do it and he faded away. So, all right. Good match. What did you give this match? Let me see. You gave it a thumbs up. I also gave it a thumbs up. Robert, who's not here, also gave it a thumbs up. So our Malapart Smart rating system, for those of you who are unfamiliar or new to the show, thumbs up means we all liked it. It was pretty good. So you got any comments on this you want to give?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match, of course. Once they announced that it would be a champion versus champion at Crown Jewel, it made more sense that Gunther would win, obviously, than Sami because you need that heel versus babyface, the Cody versus Gunther, which is also obviously going to be a tremendous match. Got two of the best wrestlers in the world, as far as I'm concerned, going at it. It should be phenomenal. I've actually waited a long time to see how these two guys would work together in the ring. Can't wait to see that. The booking was fine. I mean, unlike the AEW where Danielson was choked out and that was the end of his career, at least Gunther has won matches like that way before, numerous times. And so, I'm okay with it. And he is a dominating champion in that sense. He's like the ultimate ring general. So it works. It works for his character, and it works for his gimmick, and it works for the fact that he's, a badass in a sense.
All right. Let me just give a comment about this. Although I like this match, it was good. It was fine. The feud I didn't like at all, because there was this whole thing about Gunther refusing the match because Sami doesn't deserve it, and you were like, well, he's just trying to be a heel, right? That's just what heels do. I'm like, okay, that's okay, but it doesn't make sense because Sami just has a fucking clean victory over him at WrestleMania. If anybody has a fucking right to challenge Gunther, it's Sami.
That's true.
And that's why I thought this feud was basically bullshit. So for the program, I give it a thumbs down. For the
I
match,
agree.
I give it a thumbs up. But okay, moving along. Something I just mentioned, but let's expound upon it a little bit. So we did mention that Cody was there, and he was scouting out this match, the World Heavyweight title match, because he's going to face the winner of Crown Jewel for some belt, right? I think there's some belt that they have.
Some new belt, which I'm not obviously a huge fan
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a championship. It'll probably just be like a Owen Hart tournament type of just trophy belt. But anyways, so at the end of the match that we just watched, that we just reviewed, Cody's music hit, and there he goes, and they have a face-off with Gunther. So for this thing about Cody, the angle about Cody scouting out his Crown Jewel opponent, we gave some ratings on our review post of whether we like this angle or not. You gave it a half a thumbs up, and Robert gave it a half thumbs up, so not too hot for it, but you kind of like it. Me personally, I liked it because I think I'm fine with the idea of these two fighting. I think I could see this being an exciting match, and I think Cody has these issues with other people, and I could see it being like a chaotic match where there's just a lot of interference, and people coming in and out trying to cost Cody, and Gunther will take that. He's a heel, so he's not really going to care. That's how I see the match going. So I like the idea of the match. But you go ahead and give your comments if whatever you think of a champion versus champion match. Like this is something that's been done kind of at Survivor Series traditionally. But now they're doing it at Crown Jewel. Also on the women's side, Nia Jax is facing Liv Morgan, two heels. But anyways,
that one's a little weird, but okay.
Okay, so give your thoughts about Cody and Gunther, whether you're excited for that, and just the fact in general of champion versus champion and this token belt they're giving.
Well, yeah, obviously the token belt part and the fact that they're doing that is specifically just for Saudi Arabia, and the fact that the Saudis are paying them God knows how much money to put on these shows. So, okay, whatever. That is what it is. That's business. I'm not going to argue that. But the match itself, as I was saying in the previous angle, is going to be phenomenal. I mean, these are the two of the best workers, two of the best wrestlers in the whole world, as far as I'm concerned. So they're going to put on an incredible match. And I think you're onto something that all the people that are trying to get at Cody with Kevin Owens and maybe I don't know if the Bloodline in that part maybe he's kind of left that angle maybe, but either way, like he has enough enemies where probably somebody will cost him.
Yeah, they can't have a clean ending to this because they just shouldn't. Two champions, you don't want one to go over.
Yeah, you shouldn't. So I could see what you said definitely happening, and Gunther wins by some sort of cheating that happened because of whoever. But anyways, yeah, obviously I'm excited for the match because I think it could set up like maybe a future WrestleMania match for them down the road, potentially. I don't know.
Right. Well, I thought you weren't excited for this match because you only gave this angle a half thumbs up. So.
Well, I mean, I gave it a half thumbs up, maybe just because like nothing is.
There wasn't really much here. Yeah, they just stared off to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give more. Once something actually happens within. I don't actually know if they're going to meet up again, or is it they're just going to meet up at the match and that's it. But
they might have a promo battle where Gunther can say something about Cody's dad or something like.
Oh yeah.
Do something like that. So I'm sure that'll be good. But okay,
he's been good at that. Yeah.
Couple more angles. Let's move along. Oh, speaking of Jey Uso, so we were talking about Jey Uso earlier in the day because he might be joining the Bloodline storyline. They hinted at that Roman and Jimmy might need some help. So,
sure.
So what happened on Monday? He was also on NXT, I think. But let's just talk about Monday because he beat Xavier Woods in a match, and then Bron Breakker came out of nowhere and speared his ass 1 week after showing him respect and saying, you're the champion, you're the man, you beat me, all right. He shook his hand, and then he freaking. He was going to go challenge Gunther, I thought, right? You remember he went and faced off with Gunther and looked at the world title, but I guess he changed his mind. It's like, no, I'm going to go back to the Intercontinental title. So Xavier and Kofi were there they were like, should we help him? Whatever with that. That's like a whole nother thing. But, Kofi did get in there and get speared, and I think Xavier got speared on the outside, and Jey Uso got speared again. So there you go. Braun Breaker's back in the IC title picture, I guess. So it seems like he wants to get that title back or get another match with Jey Uso, which was weird. Later in the night too, they were trying to interview him. Jackie Redmond, I guess, was trying to run down Braun Breaker, and he just looked at her and walked away. So he didn't give any comments for his ridiculousness. But okay, so what did Vlad give this angle on this night for Raw? This is October 7th. Vlad gave it a half thumbs up. Robert also gave it a half thumbs up. I'm giving it an indifferent. I don't really like this. I'm already past this, honestly. But maybe this relates to the other thing we were talking about with Jay coming to SmackDown. Maybe they just got to get that title off of him, put it back on somebody. That's the only thing I could think of. But I'll give you a minute to talk about this. Anything you could think of for Braun Breaker and Jey Uso here, because this is a tough one. This is an interesting one.
It's a tough one because it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Because as you said last week, it looked like he was kind of turning face for whatever reason, which I didn't really understand, to be honest with you. I'm like, why would you turn this guy face? He's like a natural heel. I mean, it's way too soon. I didn't get what the hell was going on there. But then, okay, yes, this week they had it right. Like, okay, he still wants the title and he's still a heel. Fine, great. I just didn't understand why they did what they did last week. Like, what was that about? Like, if
maybe they were going to do something else and they pulled the plug on it. Maybe they were like, changed their mind or plans changed or something. I don't know. It used to happen a lot more under Vince. I would assume they would know what they're going for now and not fucking pull the plug on something like that.
Well, surely they must know that they're going to use Jimmy in the Bloodline angle months in advance, because that's where they've been building towards anyways. But
or Jay, you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jay. Yeah, Jay.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously, I disagree with him even winning the Intercontinental title off Braun Breaker. So, I mean, I'm not really thrilled with the booking for Braun here. I know we've.
So why did you even give it a half thumbs up then? I don't know.
Because at least finally what he did made sense, and he's not actually a babyface. But I didn't like that. The previous week as well. So that's why I couldn't give it like a full thumbs up or even anything higher than that. But I think it's okay to give it a half thumbs up, because I mean, I just don't want them to screw this guy up with the booking. And so far, the last couple of weeks, a little bit, a little shaky.
Man, since he's been up, it's been a little shaky, man. He lost to Sami Zayn. He lost to freaking Jey Uso. So, I don't know. I think he's holding on to his credibility just because he looks so great and his work is so great. But the storylines haven't done him any favors, in my opinion. But moving on. A couple more little angles, and then I'll get to my honorable mentions. So I'm sticking with Raw. We're on October 7th. CM Punk had come out to discuss, his Hell in a Cell match and how banged up he is from it. That was a separate angle, though. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm discussing the part where he was totally done with that promo, and Seth Rollins' music hits. And he was like, kind of rolled his eyes like, oh my God, really now? And here comes Seth, and obviously we know they have like unfinished business lingering, and Seth stares at him, but he didn't attack him. That's what I was thinking in my mind. In the back of my mind, I was thinking like, Punk is hurt, this is the best time to fuck him up. But no, Seth's like, I'm going to wait for you to get healthy again, and then I'll end your career, basically. But he gave him a nice smile, and I thought this was a good little moment as he bumped him on the way past him. So there you go. That's all that was. This was a hefty 54 seconds of Punk and Rollins crossing paths, but I marked it as a separate angle on our review. So on our review that we did on Monday, Vlad has also a half a thumbs up on this. So you kind of like this. Me and Robert gave it a thumbs up. We liked it. We thought this shit was dramatic. I mean, who doesn't like this? Come on, look at this. Look at this, Vlad. Hold on, let me take this off. Who doesn't like this? Anyways, it's all you. Give us your thoughts on Punk and Rollins face-off.
Well, when Punk was done cutting his very serious promo, which was very good, again, Punk is a great promo guy, as we all know, but when he rolled his eyes, that's the exact same way I felt when I heard Seth Rollins music. I'm like, oh, this guy. We have to deal with this guy now. I mean, look, Seth Rollins is very talented, and we've said that. I think all of us have said that. Me, you, Robert, anyone that really follows wrestling would agree that Seth Rollins is a tremendous talent, but the character and the gimmick is so just terrible and so annoying. I've honestly enjoyed that he wasn't around the last couple months, to be honest with you, just because I really do hate his gimmick that much, So, I mean, yes, I think he could have a really good feud with Punk, but if he's going to be doing the whole revolution and then playing the songs, dude, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry, I just don't care enough. I mean, if he gets serious, if he gets serious, where it's going to be even half as good as the stuff that Punk had with McIntyre, maybe we could talk. But here, we'll see. You got to change his style, and he's got to take stuff seriously. But if he's going to come in with the glasses and the weird costumes, fuck him, man. That's what I say.
All right. So Seth Rollins did walk to the ring and cut a promo on Bronson Reed and that match, that whole thing coming up. But that is also a separate angle on our review post. If you want to go check that out, go on our YouTube page and go to our post tab or community tab, whichever one it shows up as, and click on our Raw review, and we got a full Raw review there. But we don't have time to talk about that right now. We're basically over an hour right now, so we should be done. But I do want to talk one more angle, just because I want to throw in NXT into our reviews, into our show, because I've started following NXT, and I just want to do at least one angle every week, just to keep up with it, to say that we watch it, we don't totally ignore it. We don't have an angle from Dynamite this week, but this NXT that aired opposite Dynamite destroyed it in the ratings. Worst rated Dynamite rating. We don't have any angles from Dynamite on today's show, but there was enough of it on WrestleDream. But it was a very bad Dynamite. It was kind of horrible. You even mentioned in our review post that this was a really particularly awful Dynamite.
Yes, absolutely.
But all right, the one angle from NXT that I've chosen to discuss is Tony D'Angelo against Oba Femi for the NXT North American title, which I really love this match. I thought it was a very seriously worked match. Had a Rocky 3 thing going, Rocky 3 storyline with Tony D'Angelo.
Boy. You and John Moxley.
Doubting himself. Well, this was done. I don't know if the storyline was done any better than Moxley's, but the match was great. I thought this was a very seriously worked match. I thought they looked good. Tony D'Angelo is pumped up. He didn't look fake. It didn't really look fake that he was kind of working with Oba Femi like this. But I'm not going to play any of the match, but I got a link to it. If anybody really wants to see the match, there's a low-quality, legal quality link to this whole video in the description below. Check that out if you really want to. But Tony D'Angelo was going to cheat because he's usually a cheater, but this time he was like, nah, I got to do it by myself. And after he saw Oba Femi beat up his family, he pulled something from, deep within him to fucking roll up Oba Femi, basically, and win the match. And a nice win for Tony D'Angelo, all right? But I guess, you did have a rating for this match. You gave it a thumbs up. Interesting. I gave it 2 thumbs up. For a match, I thought it was really well worked. So, and then Robert, who's also rated this match on our Malapert Smart ratings post, he gave it a thumbs up as well. So Robert's not here, but we could mention that he liked this. So, any comments you want to give about, Oba Femi first? I guess we'll start with that before I ask your opinion on Tony D'Angelo's gimmick. But let's start with Oba Femi.
Well, I think Oba Femi looks great. I mean,
is he ready? Main roster ready, huh?
I would say so. I mean, he looks tremendous. He has a great look. I mean, I've only seen this guy twice. To be honest, I hadn't heard of him really. I heard the name maybe, but I hadn't seen anything from him until the promo that he cut in the first week on CW, and then the match here he had with Tony D'Angelo, the following week for the North American title, right? So I mean, he looks tremendous. I don't know what else to say. He has a great look. He's, and he works. He can work. He put on a very, very good match as far as so 2 big men kind of going at it. I enjoyed it. I mean, I would say it was a very impressive match for me. A big guy that can work and he could do stuff with. I think this guy can go far.
I got to cut you off, though, because we are running short on time. But I do want to get your opinion on Tony D'Angelo. What about that? What's up with the gimmick? Is it too weird?
Tony D'Angelo will never. The mafia gimmick will not work anywhere, dude.
You were telling me, because we were talking about this off air. You were saying that nobody talks like that in real life. I can't believe that. I think there's people in Jersey who talk like that, exactly like that.
I mean, potentially, possibly. I guess it's. I don't know. I mean, sure, there are people like this.
So the accent is too ridiculous. But what can they do about that, Vlad? Can they just drop the accent? Do you think one day he could just show up without it or something? Or what can they do?
Well, I mean, if you look at him, he's a good-looking athlete. He's obviously a guy that is big, strong. You could do a lot with him as a wrestler. I just don't.
No, I mean, what can you do about the gimmick? Like, how can you?
You can't. No, you can't. Yeah, you just pretend like it doesn't exist. You change him completely. You just
one day come out with a new gimmick. No, I mean,
he could still be Tony D'Angelo, I guess, or maybe he goes heel and he calls himself Anthony something. I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't. But the point is that. I just don't think you can have this whole mafia. He's been in jail type of gimmick. It's silly,
look, you know what, Vlad? I'm going to give you a prediction on my end. I think he's coming up to the main roster, and he's going to come up as Tony D'Angelo, as the same Don, the Don of NXT. He's going to come up with the same gimmick. I guarantee you. They're not going to change it at all.
Well, so that's their choice. I'm not saying they should, or they should. I mean, I'm saying they should. I'm saying they should, but I'm not saying that they have to. They can do whatever they want. I'm just saying that it's not going to get over, and it's not going to go anywhere. That's the point I'm making. So, I mean, now Femi. Now let's talk about somebody that matters then. If that's your prediction that he's just going to stay Mafia Don, Tony D'Angelo, then you might as well just, just throw him away because he ain't gonna be doing shit.
I think it'll be fine, man. I think it'll be cool, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you just don't have a sense of humor, Vlad. You just have got no sense of humor.
No, I got plenty of sense of humor, but I mean, this guy could be anything. This guy could be like a monster heel, and he could. He's 6'1". They're saying looking at the thing. They're saying have him at 6'1", 250. The guy is a beast, right? You could do a lot of different things with him.
Yeah, he legitimately looked like he could have beat Boba Femi on this night. So yeah, they could do something with him. But
yeah.
All right. Anyways,
but the story is of Femi and what his future is, because I'm actually curious myself now. I'll keep an eye on him, especially if he goes to the main roster. I
think that's it. I think he's going to come up at some point. His next appearance will be on the main roster, in my opinion. My guess. Because I think if you're going to lose this title and put someone over, that's basically the sign that someone's going up to the main roster.
But has he been in NXT for a while now? I don't even know his story.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes they're just like, you know what, we need a guy. Let's pull him up. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking Triple H is they're just gonna pull the trigger and do it. That's my guess. I could be wrong. Maybe he'll come back this week and try to get his North American title back, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, people say they see money in certain people, but they've been saying that about people like Daniel Garcia and people like that. No, there's actually money in Oba Femi, potentially. I don't know if it's going to happen, but just by his look, there should be something there.
All right. Well, we'll see if he gets drafted or maybe a surprise Royal Rumble entrant or something, or if he goes back to NXT. I'm not sure. But okay, I'm done with all the angles that I've wanted to discuss in depth. 11 angles for today's show. I think that's good enough. I got some honorable mentions, though. So let's fly through a couple things that I thought at least I wanted to mention on this show. So what do I got first? I got Pete Dunne, Butch, and Sheamus in a old-fashioned Donnybrook, right? match. Yeah, I like the ending of this. I'll give a shout out to the ending where he tied up Sheamus' hands behind his back and was going to hit him with the cricket bat, and somehow Sheamus still landed the bro kick with his hands tied behind his back and pinned him with his hands tied behind his back and won the match. I don't think I've ever seen that. But okay, I thought that was great. Love the feud. Ever since the flimsy premise that it started with, I thought it was a pretty damn good feud. I'll give it a thumbs up. If you want a comment, or I'll move on.
No, I mean, I didn't particularly like that finish. Unlike you, I thought it was a little weird. Like, okay, so he beats him with his hands tied behind his back. Not the best look for Dunn or Butch. Don't call me
Don't
Butch.
call him Butch, bro. Don't call him Butch.
Yeah, he's well. After he lost, I have to call him Butch again.
Or we'll never get him on our show. What if we want him as a guest?
Yeah, well, then we'll just call him Pete Dunne, I guess. But no, I was just gonna. No, but I was gonna say that I also enjoyed their feud. Believe it or not, I thought it was kind of underrated. And a lot of the undercard or mid-card stuff on Raw and SmackDown, not everything, but a lot of the stuff has been underrated in a sense and has been entertaining, and this has been one of them.
All right. Let's move on to my second honorable mention. I got, well, I'm not mentioning this because I liked it or I disliked it. I actually disliked it. But the Switchblade Jay White versus Hangman Page match on WrestleDream, which was the opening match of the night. And no, I don't want to show any of it, but the booking is that Jay White just fucking won the match. He beat him clean, and Hangman was just kind of pissed and angry, and as he was walking off to the back, he was arguing with the crowd. The crowd was talking shit. He was like, nobody asked you. And that's what they did with Hangman Page, because I was like, dude, this is the guy that just destroyed Swerve, top guy in the company, in a steel cage match and a lights out hardcore match, and humiliated Swerve. And I was like, dude, they're sending him off to like do something. Instead, he just lost to Jay White. I don't know. I'm dumbfounded and baffled at that one. So that's the only reason I had to.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I'm not as big a Hangman fan as you, but this guy did stick a hypothermic needle at, in his previous match, and he did beat
Swerve,
former
yes.
He beat
You're
Swerve,
talking about the match with Swerve, yeah, and burned his house down, and that was.
How could I forget that?
I mean, if you're gonna do that with a guy in a storyline, and why just like have him lose straight up to? Why put him in a feud with Jay White? I'm like, okay, maybe if he has to fight Jay White, you got to pick a winner, a guy to go over. Okay, maybe it makes sense that Jay White could win, but why would you even put him in this position?
I agree. Well, yeah, I understand they want to get Jay White over. He just came back from whatever injury, right? It's his first match back. But yeah, why Hangman? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't do anything for Hangman, that's for sure. I'm not even definitely not his biggest fan, but even I don't understand this booking.
All right. My last honorable mention that I just want to mention because I was surprised at the book. Not surprised, but I was curious as to who would win this one. It was Mariah May and Willow, and Mariah May also just got the win clean off of Willow. Really no cheating whatsoever there either. So Mariah, the super monster heel, just won the match. So just hit her with a Storm Zero, basically. Tony Storm's move, and thanks for coming, Willow. So.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just an interesting booking. I don't really know what to say about it. The match was all right. The match was pretty good, I thought. I had been critical of Mariah's heel turn, so I just, I think the way they turned her heel was kind of weird. But all right, so now she's a heel, and apparently Tony Khan loves her because he's just made her this super strong character, and she defeated Willow Nightingale clean. So that's
I'll just say that I think. As much as I didn't love her angle with Tony Storm, at least Tony Storm is entertaining. Now that there's no Tony Storm involved in this whole thing, I don't care what goes on with Mariah May, and I do like Willow, but I mean, there was really no feud here. They just had like some pull apart in the back or something, and dude, who cares?
Yeah, this was kind of weak, but okay, so there you go. All right, well, that's all I got for the night, Vlad. Unless you have any honorable mentions or something from the week that you remember that you would like to mention, if you want to dig deep into your reserves or to your memories. But on that note, I'll remind the fans that we need subscribers. We got to get to 500 so we could link our Shopify to the YouTube, and we're trying to sell T-shirts of Vlad's face. Vlad's beautiful, wonderful face, and it will say the wrestling expert. So please subscribe.
That would be a great shirt.
If you haven't yet, don't forget. And on top of that, that's all I got for this week. So thanks for coming, Vlad. Thanks for coming. Man, thanks, like Willow. Thanks for coming.
But unlike Willow, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. You're not dead and buried, Vlad. You're great.
I'm not dead and buried. No, exactly.
All right. So since we have a minute, I don't know. Yeah. We could just chit chat. What do you think? Is it too much wrestling? Are you getting frustrated with how much wrestling we're watching, or what?
No, well,
Is there pressure to watch because we do a podcast and now we have hundreds and hundreds of viewers per video sometimes?
I mean, look, it is a lot of wrestling. Specifically, WWE has 3 shows. I mean, they now have. Well, we know. I'm trying to. I'm not going to watch NXT all the way through, but I'll watch if anything. If I read about something that interesting happened, I'll probably give it a look. But yeah, Raw. At least it's 2 hours now. That's great for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's temporary. SmackDown, I think, is still 2 hours, but I think you told me that they might move to 3 hours, which is going to be crazy. Hopefully that doesn't
it makes
happen.
sense because USA is going to want a show just like they had Raw for 3 hours. Since SmackDown is 3 hours now, they're probably going to want 3 hours.
2 hours is fine. Like, why do you need that? I don't know.
It seems like the ratings don't go down that much, even if it's 3 hours.
No.
So
No, it's not like it's exactly. I'll say that the ratings for WWE shows are mostly consistent. Like, they don't go.
Yeah, so why not have an extra hour? It makes them more money. That's pretty much it. It's just for money. But for us, I mean, when I did our angle list for our review of Raw, which was 2 hours this week, it still had 15 angles on it. I'm like, these guys still squeezed 15 angles. Like, why do you need the third hour? It's much better to do 2 hour shows because it just flows better. They pick up the pace. They don't waste time. They don't have these long fucking matches that nobody cares about. So, yes, 2 hours would be nice, but whatever they want to do, it's all right. I mean, shit, Vlad. The forward button is your best friend in wrestling. And I'll tell the fans that. If the fans think that we're actually sitting through all these fucking shows,
they're just
we're not. I'm not. I mean, if I had time, I would.
Yeah.
Why not? I'll just leave it on. I like matches. I like, judging matches and like, was that good? Did they do good work and all that? But I don't have time to watch every single match.
Not for every single match. It's impossible.
No, so a lot of times I forward to the booking and see who won. I see if I'm kind of looking to see if there was interference. If somebody's interfering, then I'll stop. Things like that. And, promos, I pretty much listen to all the promos, even though that's tough. Because some of these guys just aren't good at talking. But I do give him a chance. I'm like, hey, this guy's got a chance. He's got a mic and he's on TV. I'm going to fucking listen to him and see if he steals the show. Because everyone has a chance to steal the show in wrestling.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, it has been a lot, obviously, now with that. I mean, I didn't watch most of the AEW pay-per-view, WrestleDream. There's just too much, man. With Dynamite, I guess there wasn't a collision, but sometimes I even check out collision. But I don't think there was a collision on this week because the pay-per-view.
That's nothing. I watched TNA Impact. Ring of Honor on Honor Club was 2 hours this week because last week it was only 1 hour. This week it was double episode, so 2 hours of that. And then Rampage was an hour on Friday. I watched that too.
And you watched Rampage?
I watched all of it. Our review, my Rampage review, we'll look out for that tomorrow. I might post that.
I'll wipe my ass with it.
Well, it did help because there were some things like on the pre-show, Anna Jay fought Harley Cameron. And you would have not known why they have beef if you weren't watching Rampage. So that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It helps me have the complete picture, the complete story. Or like the thing when you were watching Dynamite and you reviewed that Statlander segment and you're like, what the hell? She's a babyface now? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. It happened on Rampage. So, yep. Sometimes there's certain things on Dynamite that you won't understand if you don't watch those. But
that was actually one of the few times I didn't understand because mostly they don't do anything on Rampage or Collision rarely Collision that comes back on on Dynamite. So.
Or they can review it. They could say, "Hey, this happened," and real quick.
Yeah, they didn't even say nothing about her returning. But so I was a little thrown off by that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, dude, it is a lot, and like I said, sometimes I just don't I'm not in the right frame of mind to watch that much wrestling. I have to be honest with you, it's just too much. And there's other things I'd rather watch, to be honest. So yeah, it is what it is. But we'll do the best we can, or I'll do the best I can. I mean, you seem to be watching everything. I don't know how you're doing that at all. I try to lose my mind if I have to watch.
Because I actually love wrestling. Okay.
Yeah.
So people say wrestling is they're a fan of wrestling. Wrestling is my life. Okay, it's my life. as Vlad yawns. All right, Vlad, I gotta let you go. I know it's late.
You're making me sleepy with your very enheartened promo. God.
Thank you for coming on the show, Vlad. You're the man, and you have been on every episode so far, 130. Robert was on a good streak. I don't know how many episodes in a row he was on, but I can't remember the last time he wasn't here. But we miss you, Robert. We hope you come back next week or whenever you can. Or I know Robert's probably tired of wrestling too. If you want to take a break, you can take a break. Whatever, come back whenever you want.
Yeah, maybe that's why he went to the show. He got tired, or who knows?
No pressure. All right, guys. All right, Vlad. That's it for this.
All right, man.
Have a good next week.
Yeah, but take care.
Turn on the lights, feel the beat. Pressing tails can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Now very smart, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the smarks always high. Fighting this, all we say. Heroes rise, villains sway. In the ring, night and day. Wrestling talk, come and stay. Now a very smart, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the smarks always high. Hit the mat, crash and cheer. All the news you wanna hear. Wealth and fame always near. With the crew, have no fear. Now a very smart, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the smarks always high. Catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the smarks always high.